All right, so today we're going to finish up Their Eyes Are Watching God. For those of you who will be watching online, I hope that you all won't just listen, but you'll actually try to participate as we answer the questions. So let's begin with chapter 19. Anybody want to start off reading?
And then again, him with the square toes had gone back to his house. He stood once more and again in his high flat house, without his sides to it, and without a roof, with his soulless sword standing upright in his hand. His pale white horse galloped over waters and thundered over land. The time of dying was over. It was time to bury the dead.
All right, I want you all to pay attention as we read to remember this is a frame story, so how things relate back to the beginning. I remember like one of the first paragraphs of the book, maybe the third one. She was coming back from burying the dead.
Yeah.
All right. Janie, us been in this dirty, slouchy place 2 days now, and that's too much. Us got to get out of this house and out of this man's town. I never did like round here. Where we going, TK? That we don't know. Maybe we could go back up the state if you want to go. I didn't want to say that, but if that is what you... No, I ain't saying nothing of the kind. I was trying not to keep you out of your comfortable no longer than you would have to stay. If I'm in your way, will you listen at this woman? Me about to bust my britches trying to stay with her, and she ought to be shot with tacks. All right then, you name something and we'll do it. We can give it a poor man's trial anyhow. Anyhow, I done got rested up, and the bed bugs, it's done got too bold round here. I didn't notice when my rest was broke. I'm going out and look around and see what we can do. I'll give anything a coming trial. You better stay inside this house and get some rest. Tain't nothing to find out there nohow. But I wants to look and see, Janie. Maybe it's some kind of work for me to help do. What they want you to help do? You ain't gonna like it. They is grabbing all the men folks they can't get their hands on and making them help bury the dead. How did the people die?
In the storm.
All right, in the storm. All right. They claims they's after the unemployed, but they ain't been too particular about whether you's employed or not. TK went out and wandered around. Saw the hand of horror on everything. Houses without roofs and roofs without houses. Steel and stone all crushed and crumbled like wood. The mother of malice had trifled with men. While TK was standing and looking, he saw 2 men coming towards him with rifles on their shoulders. 2 white men. So he thought about what Janie had told him and flexed his knees to run. But in a moment, he saw that wouldn't do him any good. They had already seen him, and they were too close to miss him if they shot. Maybe they would pass on by. Maybe when they saw he had money, they would realize he was not a tramp. Hello there, Jim, the tallest one called out. We been looking for you. My name ain't no Jim, TK said watchfully. What you been looking for me for? I ain't done nothing. That's what we want you for. Not doing nothing. Come on, let's bury some of these here dead folks. They ain't getting buried fast enough. TK hummed back defensively. What I got to do with that? I'm a working man with money in my pocket. Just got blown out of the glaze by the storm. The short man made a quick move with his rifle. Get on down the road there, sir. Don't look out, somebody will bury you. Go on in front of me, sir. TK found that he was part of a small army that had been pressed into service to clear the wreckage in public places and bury the dead. Y'all think he gonna get paid for this work?
No.
What has given these men the authority to walk around with rifles and force people to work without pay? It ain't slavery, but it seems like it's a form of slavery, and it's because it's a white man. All right. Now, what I want you all to understand, y'all read the essential question out loud on 3. 1, 2, 3.
How did history and culture impact the writing style and content of the
Question.
All right, so until now, we really haven't seen much of a race issue except for our encounter with Miss Turner, correct?
Yes.
And the reason why we haven't seen much of a racial issue is because it was in Edenville, the setting at the beginning. And what is the significance of Edenville?
It's isolated with only black people.
Right. It was the first, in real life, the first all black incorporated town in the United States. So therefore we missed a lot of the racism. You got me? But now we're gonna start seeing that. TK found that he was part of a small army that had been pressed into service to clear the wreckage in public places and bury the dead. Bodies had to be searched out, carried to certain gathering places, and buried. Corpses were not just found in wrecked houses, they were under houses, tangled in shrubbery, floating in water, hanging in trees, drifting under wreckage. Trucks lined with drag kept rolling in from the glades and other outlying parts, each with its load of 25 bodies. Some bodies fully dressed, some naked, and some in all degrees of dishevelment. Some bodies with calm faces and satisfied hands, some dead with frightening faces and eyes flung wide open in wonder. Death had found them watching, trying to see the unseen. Miserable, sullen men, black and white under guard, had to keep on searching for bodies and digging graves. A huge ditch was dug across the white cemetery, and a big ditch was opened across the black graveyard. So you all see the separation. Plenty quick line on hand to throw over the bodies as soon as they were received. They had already been unburied too long. The men were making effort to get them covered up as quickly as possible, but the guards stopped them. They had received orders to be carried out. Hey there, y'all. Don't dump them bodies in that hole like that. Examine every last one of them and find out if they is white or black. Us gotta handle them slow like that. God have mercy. In the condition they's in, you got to examine them. What difference do it make about the color? They all needs burying in a hurry. Got orders from headquarters. They making coffins for all the white folks. Ain't nothing but cheap pine, but that's better than nothing. Don't dump no white folks in the hole just so. What to do about the colored folks? Got boxes for them too. Nope. They can't find enough for them to go around. Just sprinkle plenty of lime over them and cover them up. Shucks. Nobody can't tell nothing about some of these bodies. The shape they's in. Can't tell whether they's white or black. Why wouldn't they be able to tell whether they white or black? Do y'all know? Right. All right. So, y'all know when black people die, we stay out a week, maybe a week and a half, right? But when white people die, usually they are buried within a couple of days. And it's because of the pigment of their skin, their bodies turn and they'll start to look dark, okay? So that's why they're having a hard time distinguishing whether they black or whether they white, okay? The guards had a long conference over that. After a while, they came back and told the men, look at they hair when you can't tell no other way. And don't let me catch none of y'all dumping white folks. And don't be wasting no boxes on color. They is too hard to get hold of right now. That's mighty particular how these dead folks goes to judgment, TK observed to the man working next to him. Look like they think God don't know nothing about the Jim Crow law. TK had been working several hours when the thought of Jamie worrying about him made him desperate. So when a truck drove up to be unloaded, he bolted and ran. He was ordered to halt on pain of being shot at, but he kept right on and got away. He found Janie sad and crying, just as he had thought. They calmed each other about his absence. Then TK brought up another matter. Janie, let's got to get out of this house and out of this man's town. I don't mean to work like that no more. No, TK. Let's stay right in here until it's all over. If they can't see you, they can't bother you. Oh, no. Supposing they come around searching. Let's get out of here tonight. Where it's going, TK? The quickest place is the Glades. Let's make it on back down there. This town is full of trouble and compliment. But TK, the hurricane was down in the Glades too. It'll be dead folks to bury down there too. Yeah, I know, Janie, but it couldn't never be like it is here. In the first place, they've been bringing bodies out of there all day, so it can't be but so many more to find. And then again, it never was as many there as it was here. And then too, Janie, the white folks down there knows us. It's bad being strange niggas with white folks. Everybody is against you. That show is the truth. The ones the white man know is nice colored folks. The ones he don't know is bad niggas. Janie said this and laughed, and TK laughed with her. Janie, I done watched it time and time again. Each and every white man think he know all the good darkies already. He don't need to know no more. So far as he's concerned, all them he don't know ought to be tried and sentenced to 6 months behind the United States Privy House at Hardin Smelling. How come the United States Privy House, TK? Well, you know old Uncle Sam always do have the biggest and the best of everything. So the white man figured that anything less than Uncle Sam's consolidated water closet would be too easy. So I means to go with the white folks. No, I means to go where the white folks know me. I feels like a motherless child around here. They got things together and stole out of the house and away. The next morning, they were back on the muck. They worked hard all day fixing up a house to live in so that TK could go out looking for something to do the next day. He got out soon next morning, more out of curiosity than eagerness to work. Stayed off all day. That night, he came in beaming out with life. Who you reckon I seen, Janie? Bet you can't guess. I bet you a fat man you seen sopped about him. Yeah, I seen him and Stu Beef and Dockery and Lias and Kudame and Botany. Guess who else? Lord knows. Is it Shrek? No, he got caught in the rush. Lias helped bury him in Palm Beach. Guess who else? Go on, tell me, TK. I don't know. It can't be Motorboat. That's just who it is. Old Motor. The son of a gun laid up in that house and slept. And the late come moved the house way off somewhere, and Motor didn't know nothing about it till the storm was about over. No, yeah, man. Here we nearly kill our food sales running from danger, and him lay up there and sleep and float on off. If y'all read chapter 18, Motorboat told them, he was like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just going to stay upstairs.
And then he's going to go to sleep.
Yeah, and he went to sleep. And here it is, TK got bit by a dog, Jane almost got drowned to death and mauled. They should have stayed. It seemed like they didn't listen to any of the signs. Lias came and was like, y'all want to ride? No, we don't want to ride. Motorboat, y'all want to just stay here? No, we don't want to stay here. Just hold ahead. Well, you know they say luck is a fortune. That's right, too. Look, I got a job at work, help clearing up things in general. And then they go and build that dike, sure enough. That ground got to be cleared off too. Plenty of work. They needs more men even. So TK made 3 hardy weeks. He bought another rifle and a pistol. And he and Janie bucked each other as to who was the best shot, with Janie ranking him always with the rifle. She could knock the head off a chicken hawk sitting up at a pine tree. TK was a little jealous, but proud of his pupil. About the middle of the 4th week, TK came home early one afternoon complaining of his head. Sick headache that made him lie down for a while. He woke up hungry. Janie had his supper ready, but by the time he walked from the bedroom to the table, he said he didn't believe he wanted a thing. Thought you told me you was hungry, Janie Will. I thought so too, TK said very quietly and dropped his head in his hands. Anybody want to pick up?
But I done make your pan of beans. I know they good, all right, but I don't choose nothing now. Oh, thank you, Janie. He went back to bed. Late in the midnight, he woke Janie up in his nightmarish struggle with an enemy that was at his throat. Janie struck a light and quieted him. What's the matter, honey? She soothed and soothed. You got to tell me so I can feel with you. Let me bear the pain along with you, baby. Where hurt your sugar? Something got after me in my sleep, Jamie. He all but cried, tried to choke me to death. Hadn't been for you, I'd be dead. You sure was straining with it, but you see, all right, honey, I'm here. He went back to sleep. He went on back to sleep, but there was no getting around it. He was sick in the morning. He tried to make it, but Jamie wouldn't hear of his going out at all. If I can just make it out the week, TK said. Folks wasn't folks was making weeks before you was born, and they going to be making him after you see gone. Lay back down, TK. I'm going to get the doctor to come see about you. Ah, ain't that bad, Jamie. Look at here. I can walk all over the place, but you see too sick, too pleasant, plenty fever around here since the storm. Give me a drink of water before you leave. Then Jenny gave up a glass of water and brought it to the bed. TK took it and filled his mouth and gagged horribly, disgorged that which was in his mouth and threw the glass upon the floor. Janie was frantic with alarm. Keep going.
You want me to pick back up?
Yes.
Okay. What make you act like that with your drinking water, TK? You asked me to give it to you. That water is something wrong with it. It nearly choked me to death. I told you something jumped on me in here last night and choked me. You come making out I was dreaming. Maybe it was a witch around you, honey. I'll see what I can find some mustard seed while I'm out. But I'm sure to fetch the doctor when I come. Yeah. Has this ever happened to you all? It probably has. Let me get it out. Okay. Have you all ever been asleep? And it seems like you awake, but you can't physically move, almost like something holding you down.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's be in the morning time.
all people say that the devil is
Beholding.
riding you, but
Man,
I actually looked it up, and because usually when I go to sleep on my back, it seems like that happens to me, and it was some type of somewhere you paralyzed, but it's like a mental state. But yeah, it's real.
Man, I wouldn't.
So it never happened to you?
I
thought you said no.
I was sleeping on the couch. Nah, I was sleeping on the couch and I was having a nightmare. I was trying to wake up, but I couldn't. I was like,
They couldn't.
I couldn't
It's
fall
called
asleep.
like you falling and you trying.
That's it. All right.
I thought the devil was holding me.
TK didn't say anything against it, and Janie herself hurried off. This sickness to her was worse than a storm. As soon as she was well out of sight, TK got up and dumped the water bucket and washed it clean. Then he struggled to the irrigation pump and filled it again. He was not accusing Janie of malice in design. He was accusing her of carelessness. She ought to realize that the water buckets needed washing like everything else. He'd tell her about it good and proper when she got back. What she was thinking about nohow. He found himself very angry about it. He eased the bucket on the table and sat down to rest before taking a drink. Finally, he dipped up a drink. It was so good and cool. Come to think about it, he hadn't had a drink since yesterday. That was what he needed to give him an appetite for his beans. He found himself wanting it very much. So he threw back his head as he brushed the glass to his lips, but the demon was there before him, strangling. Shallow lips. Strangling, killing him quickly. It was a great relief to expel the water from his mouth. He sprawled on the bed again and lay there shivering until Janie and the doctor arrived. The white doctor who had been around so long that he was part of the mother, who told the women's stories with brawny sweat words in them. He came into the house quickly, hat sitting on the left back corner of his head. Hi there, TK. What's the hell the matter with you? Wish I know, Dr. Simmons, but I sure is sick. I know, TK. Ain't a thing wrong that a quarter coon dick won't cure. You haven't been getting your right liquor lately, eh? He slapped TK lustily across his back, and TK tried to smile, as he was expected to do, but it was hard. The doctor opened up his bag and went to work. You do look a little peaked, TK. You got a temperature and your pulse is kind of off. What you been doing here lately? Nothing except been working and gaming a little, doctor. It looked like water done turned against me. Water? How do you mean? Can't keep it on my stomach at all. What else? Janie came around the bed full of concern. Doctor, TK can't tell me everything like y'all. We was caught in the hurricane out here, and TK overstrained himself swimming such a long time and holding me up too, and walking all the miles in the storm. And then before he can get his rest, he had to come get me out the water and fight with a big dog. And the dog bit him in the face and everything. I've been expecting him to be sick before now. Dog bit him, did you say? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't nothing much, doctor. It was all healed over in 2 or 3 days, TK said impatiently. That's been over a month ago, nohow. This is something new, doctor. I figures the water is yet bad. It's bound to be. Too many dead folks been in it for it to be good to drink for a long time. That's the way I figures it anyhow. All right, TK. I'll send you some medicine and tell Janie how to take care of you. Anyhow, I want you in bed by yourself until you can hear from me. Just you keep Janie out of your bed for a while here. Come on out to the car with me, Janie. I want to send TK some pills to take right away. Outside, he fumbled in his bag and gave Janie a tiny bottle with a few pellets inside. Give him one of these every hour to keep him quiet, Janie, and stay out of his way when he gets in one of his fits of gagging and choking. How you know he's having them, doctor? That's just what I come out here to tell you. Janie, I'm pretty sure that was a mad dog bit your husband. What does that mean to be a mad dog? That rabies, right. It's too late to get hold of the dog's head, but the symptoms is all there. It's mighty bad that it's gone on so long. Some shots right after it happened would have fixed him right up. It means he's liable to die, doctor? Sure is. But the worst thing is, he's liable to suffer something awful before he goes. Doctor, I loves him, fit to kill. Tell me anything to do, and I'll do it. About the only thing you can do, Johnny, is to put him in the county hospital where they can tie him down and look after him. But he don't like no hospital at all. He think I was tired of him, doing for him when God knows I ain't. I can't stand the idea of this. Tying TK like he was a mad dog. It almost amounts to that, Janie. He's got almost no chance to pull through. And he's liable to bite somebody else, especially you. And then you'll be in the same fix he's in. It's mighty bad. Can't nothing be done for his case, doctor. Us got plenty of money in the bank in Orlando, doctor. See, can't you do something special to save him? Anything it costs, doctor. I don't care. But please, doctor, do what I can. I can phone into Palm Beach right away for the serum, which he should have had 3 weeks ago. I'll do all I can to save him, Janie, but it looks too late. Dang, y'all. She about to lose another husband. Y'all think he gonna die? Yeah. People in his condition can't swallow water, you know, and in other ways it's terrible. Janie fooled around outside a while to try and think it wasn't so. If she didn't see the sickness in his face, she could imagine it wasn't really happening. Well, she thought, that big old dog with the hatred in his eyes had killed her after all. She wished he had slipped off that cowtail and drowned then and there and been done. But to kill her through TK was too much to bear. TK, the son of evening sun, had to die for loving her. Why she saying he had to die for loving her?
He was trying to save her.
Right, okay. She looked hard at the sky for a long time. Somewhere up there beyond blue ether's bosom sat he. Was he noticing what was going on around her? He must be, because he knew everything. Did he mean to do this thing to TK and her? It wasn't anything she could fight. She could only ache and wait. Maybe it was some big tease, and when he saw it had gone far enough, he'd give her a sign. She looked hard for something up there to move for a sign. A star in the daytime, maybe, or the sun to shout, or even a mutter of thunder. Her arms went up in a desperate supplication for a minute. It wasn't exactly pleading, it was asking questions. The sky stayed hard looking and quiet, so she went inside the house. God would do less than he's had in his heart. Question. So this struggle that TK had in chapter 18, which has caused him to really be extremely ill. We talked about conflicts in class. What type of conflict was chapter 8? Y'all remember those? Man versus himself, man versus nature, man versus society, man versus fate. Man versus nature. So like that is a clear 18. That was a clear example of what man versus nature is. Okay? TK was lying with his eyes closed and Janie hoped he was asleep. He wasn't. A great fear had took hold of him. What was this thing that set his brains afire and grabbed at his throat with iron fingers? Where did it come from and why did it hang around him? He hoped it would stop before Janie noticed anything. He wanted to try to drink water again, but he didn't want her to see him fail. As soon as she got out of the kitchen, he meant to go to the bucket and drink right quick before anything had time to stop him. No need to worry Janie until he couldn't help it. He heard her cleaning out the stove and saw her go out to the empty ashes. He leaped at the bucket at once. But this time the sight of the water was enough. He was on the kitchen floor in great agony when she returned. She petted him, soothed him, and he got back to bed. She made up her mind to go see about the medicine from Palm Beach. Maybe she could find somebody to drive over there for her. Feel better now, TK, baby child. Uh-huh, a little. Well, believe I'll rake up the front yard. The men's has got cane chewings and peanut holes all over the place. Don't want the doctor to come back here and find it still the same. Don't take too long, Jamie. Don't like to be by myself when I'm sick. She ran down the road just as fast as she could. Halfway to town, she met Sop the Bottom and Dockery coming towards her. Hello, Janie. How's TK? Pretty bad off. I'm going to see about medicine for him right now. Doctor told somebody he was sick, so let's come to see. Thought something he never could come to work. Y'all sit with him till I get back. He need the company right long in here. She fanned on down the road to the town and found Dr. Simmons. Yes, he had an answer. They didn't have any serum, but they had wired Miami to send it. She needn't worry. It would be there early the next morning, if not before. People didn't fool around in a case like that. No, it wouldn't do for her to hire no car to go after it. Just go home and wait. That was all. When she reached home, visitors rose to go. When they were alone, TK wanted to put his head in Janie's lap and tell her how he felt and let her mama him in her sweet way. But something Sop had told him made his tongue lie cold and heavy like a dead lizard between his jaws. Mrs. Turner's brother was back on the muck, and now he had this mysterious sickness. People didn't just take sick like this for nothing. Janie, what is that Turner's woman's brother doing back on the muck? I don't know, TK. Didn't even know he was back. According to my notion, you did. What you slip off from me just now for? Here you go. TK, I don't like you asking me no such questions. That shows how sick you is showing up. You's jealous, thought me giving you calls. Well, what did you slip off from the house without telling me you was gone? You ain't never done that before. That was because I was trying not to let you worry about your condition. The doctor sent off for some more medicine, and I went to see if it calmed. TK began to cry, and Janie hovered him in her arms like a child. She sat on the side of the bed and sort of rocked him back to peace. Jacob, pick up.
TK, ain't no use you being jealous of me. In the first place, I couldn't love nobody but you. And in the second place, I just the old woman that nobody want but you. Nah, you ain't either. You only sound old when you tell folks when you was born. But with the eye, you young enough to suit most any man. That ain't no lie. I know it's plenty more men would take you and work for you and work hard for the privilege. I done heard them talk. Maybe so cheap ain't. I ain't never tried to find out. I just know that God snatched me out the fire through you and loves you and I love you and feel glad. Thank you, ma'am. But don't say you was old. You was a little girl. You was a little girl, baby, all the time. God made it so you spent your old age first with somebody else. You said with your young girl days you spent with me. I feel that way too, T-Pate. I thank you for saying it. Ain't no trouble to say it's already so. You's a pretty woman outside of being nice. Oh, T-Pate. Yeah, you is too. Every time I see you pet the roses or something, oversporting themselves, making they pretty, I tell them I want you to see Miss Jamie sometimes. You must let the flowers see sometimes. His ain't. You keep that up, T-Cake. I believe that for a while. Jamie said arson and Steve was back in the bed. It was then she put the crisp under the pillow. It gave her a quick, ugly throb, but she didn't ask him about it since he didn't say it. Never had TK slept with crisp under his head before. Never mind about all that cleaning around the front yard. He told her as she sprang up from fixing the bed. You stay where I can see you. All right, TK, did what you say. And it was turning lap leg dirty from piling in here. You can kill him.
You can tell him.
You can tell him I'm gonna stop. You can tell him I got him stopped with 4-wheel brakes. Ain't no need to stand around watching the job. I won't be telling him nothing. Cause I don't expect to see him. TK had 2 bad attacks that night. James saw a change of look coming to his face. TK was gone. Something else was looking out of his face. He made up her mind to be out back to the doctor in the first glow of day. But she was up and dressed when TK awoke from fitful sleep that he come with this day before. And he had come to him this day before. He almost snarled when he saw her dressed to go. Where you going, Jane? After the doctor TK, you too sick to be in this house without the doctor. Maybe I ought to leave you to the hospital. I ain't going to the hospital nowhere. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Get you tired of waiting on me and doing for me. That ain't what I've been with you. That ain't what I've been with you. I know that I never
I never is been able to do enough for you. So now here it is. TK is now questioning everything. Yeah. Hey boy, put this stick there, making all this racket. TK, you sick. You's taking everything in the way I don't mean it. I could never be tired of waiting on you. I'm just scared you's too sick for me to handle. I want you to get well, honey, that's all. He gave her a look full of blank ferocity and gurgled in his throat. She saw him sitting up in the bed, moving about so that he could watch her every move. And she was beginning to feel fear of this strange thing in TK's body. So when he went out to the outhouse, she rushed to see if the pistol was loaded. It was a 6-shooter, and 3 of the chambers were full. She started to unload it, but she feared he might break it and find out she knew. That might urge his ordered mind to action. If that medicine would only come. She whirled the cylinder so that if he even did draw the gun on her, it would snap 3 times before it would fire. She would at least have warning. She could either run or try to take it away before it was too late. Anyway, TK wouldn't hurt her. He was jealous, and he wanted to scare her. She'd just be in the kitchen as usual and never let on. They laughed over it when he got well. She found the box of cartridges, however, and emptied it. Just as well to take the rifle from the back of the head of the bed. She broke it and put the shell in her apron pocket and put it in a corner in the kitchen, almost behind the stove where it was hard to see. She could outrun his knife if it came to that. Of course she was too fussy, but it did no harm to play safe. She ought not to let poor TK do something that would run him crazy when he found out what he had done. She saw him coming from the outhouse with a queer looping gait, swinging his head from side to side and his jaws clenched in a funny way. That was too awful. Where was Dr. Simmons with that medicine? She was glad she was here to look after him. Folks would do such mean things to her TK if they saw him in such a fix. Treat TK like he was some mad dog when nobody in the world had more kindness about them. All he needed was for the doctor to come on with that medicine. He came back into the house without speaking. In fact, he did not seem to notice she was there and fell heavily into the bed and slept. Janie was standing by the stove washing up the dishes when he spoke to her in a queer, cold voice. Janie, how come you can't sleep in the same bed with me no more? Yeah, why she can't sleep in here? The doctor specifically said stay out the bed. And then he told TK that he said keep Jamie out the bed with you. The doctor told you to sleep by yourself, TK. Don't you remember him telling you that yesterday? How come you rather sleep on a pallet than to sleep in the bed with me? Janie saw that he had the gun in his hand that was hanging to his side. Answer me when I speak. TK, honey, go lay down. I'll be too glad to be in there with you in the minute the doctor say so. Go lay back down. He'll be here with some new medicine right away. Janie, I done went through everything to be good to you, and it hurt me to my heart to be ill-treated like I is. The gun came up unsteadily, but quickly, and leveled at Janie's breast. She noticed that even in his delirium, he took good aim. Maybe he would point to scare her, that was all. The pistol snapped once. Instinctively, Janie's hand flew behind her on the rifle and brought it around. Most likely this would scare him off. If only the doctor would come. If anybody at all would come. She broke the rifle definitely and shoved it shell as the second click told her that TK's suffering brain was urging him on to kill her. Y'all, what if she wouldn't have switched the bullets out? She would have been dead. All right, I think it is. It's y'all lunchtime. Go ahead.